I got the
She
main
just
thing
walked
to fucking say about this. Mate, Sharon's
Okay.
such a little fucking tart. Like, now. Like, she's, Queen Sharon. But, back in the day, just fucking throwing herself at Kelvin. Doesn't help how I just absolutely adore Michelle Fowler and think she's getting shafted. Well,
I was
just
like, you
because her little fucking giggle was doing me in. It's that spoiled, like, rich kid that you're like, fuck off, man. I've been down here in the fucking mines, trying to do my best to get by, and you're just gonna fucking waltz in with your fucking fancy cassette and your fucking £3 fucking perfume, trying to stink up my fucking laundrette, trying to get on my man. Fuck off, Sharon. None of your business. Just stop trying to get your fucking grubby little mitts on it. Just because you get everything you want, it's mine. Obviously, he's not an object, but he's mine. Fucking Sharon. Stop giggling. It's not cute. What are you even laughing at?
Me.
No, fucking Sharon. What's she laughing at? She's just dancing. Fuck off, man. What's wrong with you? Sharon, you fucking ball bag. Get your hands off Kelvin.
Kelvin is mine, bitch. Get your hands off Kelvin. Hello, fellow watchers and enjoyers. Welcome back to 1985. We've been here for about 2 months now. in Eastenders lore. We've only been here for about 3 weeks in real life. But what are we doing in 1985 again? Well, we are going through the months and years of classic Eastenders from 1985 until it gets to about 4 episodes a week, and then we go, and we can't do this. But still, we are reviewing the early years of EastEnders. So, like, your Dan gets shot, and quote unquote killed. Your Mary the Punk leaves on a bus.
All of the classics, really.
Yeah, all of the classics. I didn't know what to say.
Right now we are obviously the main plan is just get through the 80s as of now. But I'm also like, if it goes well, if people like it, we'll obviously go further. But currently the main plan is let's just get through the 80s, get through Klasky. Let's get through the first year and go from there.
Obviously, that voice, that dulcet tone voice you heard was Ash. Who is Ash? He is my co-host on this podcast. On the other podcast, the roles are reversed. So yeah, Ash, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, another classic podcast. I am Ash. I have been making content the last 5-6 years at least. Kind of always been obsessed with it as a whole, but only really started working properly and trying to, kind of create a little a little community for myself. Back in 2018? So several years on, we're still here.
So yeah, obviously we're going to be reviewing 1985. We're in April of 1985. It's the Easter month. It's Easter. So get your hot cross buns out. Get your Easter eggs out. Easter eggs in the 80s probably were a lot better, because they probably were a lot fatter.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't get away with that now because of that dickhead. What was his name? Who ruined
Jamie
schools
Oliver.
in England? Jamie Oliver. Fuck you, Jamie Oliver. Kids can't be fat nowadays. I like seeing a chubby kid.
To be fair, fat kids ruined a lot of sugary foods.
No.
Why is all the sugary goodness now being reduced because people can't fucking stop eating? I want my classic fucking snacks. Don't want this fucking watered down shit. Fucking fat
But
kids ruining everything.
without further ado, I said adieu. I know when I say adieu, I sound like I'm saying I sound like I'm in World War II going, look, it's a Jew. But I'm saying adieu, and I would clarify that all the time, just for people who think I'm saying adieu. But yeah, let's get into today's episode, ranging from the 4th of April to the 16th of April. Will I run them the 3 main storylines, or will I just leave a little bit of surprise?
What are the storylines, Piggy?
The 3 main storylines are Ian Beale's struggle with his parents, that he gets the first ever Julius theme, Sharon and Michelle fighting over Calvin, and a video we recently recorded, Ethel's kidnapping of a child / Lofty and Mary the punk meet. So let's get started. Let's get horny in here, baby, with Ethel's kidnapping of a child and Lofty and Mary meeting for the very first time. So what happened since the last time we talked? I talked to my compadres, you amigos, you know, the ensembles, the watchers, the fellow enjoyers, and basically where we left off. Ethel did a runner. Well, she can't really run because she is an old lady.
She can run, fair play.
Yeah, but you know, like if you put her against fucking Caitlyn Jenner, well, I guess I can say Bruce Jenner because we're in the 80s. You know, she's gonna like lag behind.
Yeah, but we saw her run the other episode.
Yeah. I'm not saying she can't run, but I'm saying in comparison, like if you put her against Mary the Punk and Ethel, who's gonna win that race? It's gonna be Mary the Punk.
Ableist.
No offense. I'm just saying. But yeah, anyways, Ethel did a runner last time we saw her. Or for people who want me to be in ableist, she did a wobble. She had a little wobble like a penguin. She wobbled off, and basically took a child. So this leads into our first episode, so the 4th. This leads into the 4th of April. Obviously, in the 2nd of April, we seen that Ethel basically locked her front door and went, "You're not getting that child." She didn't say that, but I presumed that's what she was saying in her mind. So, anyways, on the 4th of April, we see the aftermath. We see that Ethel is nowhere to be seen. To quote a Blink-182 song that comes out 18 years after this episode, "Where are you?" Obviously we don't know where Ethel is, and we're so sorry because this indecision to call you is creeping in, haunting me sometime. But yeah, she's just done a runner. She's gone off the Magaluf with the baby. And so Mary's looking for her. All the squares come together and look for her, except for Saeed and Neymar. They haven't, because Saeed is drunk, I believe.
He's hungover.
Yeah, he's hungover. And they were apparently having a lot of sexy you call at me.
Definitely were not.
Oh, well, I'm a blonde bimbo girl in a fantasy world. Let me dream. Oh Jesus, my phone's looking very weird to me. So yeah, basically, the whole square is looking for Ethel and her Willie and her Anna. I think her name's Anna, isn't it?
Yes. Annie.
They're looking for Annie. They're looking for Willie, Annie, and Ethel. I think Willie's just in the flat, isn't he?
Yeah, Annie is just in the flat.
No, not Annie. Willie. He's just in the flat, isn't he?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter because I need to know where my Willie is. Okay? Because if she pushed that pram, spoilers by the way, if she pushed that pram over and Willie was in that pram, you better swear to God, Mary, we don't meet. You do not push my Willie. Alright? But yeah, basically, Dr. Leg then basically rounds up the town. They all go looking for her, and then Ethel just walks in. Well, lads, how have you been? Have you been looking for this baby?
90% sure she's like singing as well. Like just fully just doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, I know what it reminds me of the Spider-Man. I don't know why my instinct goes to the Spider-Man 2 scene, but I like to imagine she was just doing Tobey Maguire in that scene, and she's just eating a hot dog like raindrops keep falling on my head. I just like to imagine she was doing that, just singing that song and having a little dance. But yeah, she basically just goes, well, lads, like your mate who, you know, you send off because he's too drunk. You send him home in an Uber. He's too drunk, and then about 50 minutes later he shows back up, and like, mate, that cost me 20 quid. But she's just here, and basically this outrages Mary, because Mary thinks that Ethel is some kind of creep, some kind of weirdo. What the hell is she doing here? We do not know. Shadow, if you got that. I like quoting songs. But yeah, she basically returns the child. By saying return, I mean Mary viciously pushes the pram over and takes the baby. Clarifies, she takes the baby first and then pushes the pram over. So yeah. Any thoughts so far?
Yeah. It's just there's a lot of references and a lot of quotes, and I'm just like, yep, got it. All right, Piggy. Topic now. Oh, Blake 182. Oh, fucking hell. No, it's we basically, if you want a fairly extensive look at this storyline, a video will be on the channel called Remember the Time Ethel Skinner Stole Mary the Punk's Child. It goes into it a bit more like kind of succinctly, a bit more concise. And essentially, Ethel stealing Mary's baby is quite a nice little sub-story, because it only really lasts like 2-3 episodes. And we get to see a bit more of like the psyche of Ethel. We get to see a bit more of like how caring a mum Mary is, you know. Like, why the fuck would Ethel steal a child? Well, if you've read EastEnders The Inside Story, it essentially says, I believe it says something to the degree of, Ethel always wanted kids, but her and William could never have them. And it's just something that she like deeply regrets. And just entirely is just sad that she will never be able to have a child. And it's quite funny and quite nice and quite fun. But it's that extra bit of like nuance and that extra bit of like serious story that kind of, a lot of issues with like more comedic characters is that they get the same treatment where all their lines are insert one-liner joke here, other joke there, like pull a weird face afterwards, you know. But it's not often that these more comic relief characters like Ethel actually get some serious stuff to work with. And it's just very cool for it, so there we are.
Obviously, sorry, I have an ice cube in my mouth. That's better. Oh Jesus, that went down cold. Obviously we obviously learn, for people who are like, I'm not reading the book. Books are for losers. Then obviously we get told literally 5 minutes later by Lou Veal that Ethel and William could never have kids. And that's what's happened there. But in a much more, in a much more simpler way, we were told that. Yeah, so Ethel can't have kids and just basically wanted Annie. But Mary just went, no, my child. But yeah, this leads on to later in the week where Lofty, the hardy man that he is, he pushes the car with Michelle and
Sharon.
Sharon, while Dr. Leg's trying to get the car started. And Dr. Leg's he's not giving out to Lofty, but he's basically saying, look, Lofty, help out.
He is very not so subtly, but slightly subtly going. I genuinely, a part of me believes that car was running by itself. Like, part of me just went, Mr. Legs or Dr. Legs just like, just push me around to Mary's place. Lofty, have you ever thought about meeting Mary? And then Lofty's like, well, I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's just, and like, he just kind of slowly coerces Lofty to actually like take an interest in Mary and like actually try support her. And it's a funny little scene. Once again, just the scene of Lofty, Michelle and Sharon pushing this car. Lofty and Michelle are giggling. Not Lofty and Michelle. Sharon and Michelle are just giggling and like making one-liners. Lofty's like joking just because, oh bloody hell, I'm gonna need to be on that inhaler for an hour now. Just out of breath. Oh, lovely stuff.
But yeah, that car definitely was running. Dr. Leg just wanted to make people get fit and healthy. Because he's a doctor, of course. Basically, so he drives off, and I will get into why he was driving off afterwards. After I tell you a story about Lofty and Mary. Two people of completely opposites. Lofty is the clumsy, I'm not saying clumsy, he's more socially, he's basically Reese in modern Eastenders. Basically. But with actual hair and not balding. So
Yeah.
he's just clumsy, social anxiety. He might say the wrong thing and he might upset you, but he doesn't mean harm. He just doesn't want to upset you. And basically, he goes around to Mary's. He has a little chit chat, and something I should have asked. He already met Mary. Did they not know this?
Well, no. It's not saying that he. Well, we've kind of angled it as he met her for the first time, but obviously they met, but they didn't really like talk much, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very surface level, you know. Now, Dr. Legs essentially like, Lofty, I think you should actually get to know and try help Mary a little bit, as she's clearly struggling.
So yeah, obviously we see that Lofty helps. He gets something for the window. I don't know what he gets for the window. If you can fill me in on that.
I think obviously the window was like closed up, and essentially I think he just like lets a bit more air in, so hopefully like the damp's not going to collect, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, he obviously helps Mary out. He pulls the curtain back. They have a chit chat. Mary thinks he's leading her on because obviously, what was the name of the lady in last week who was leading her on? Debbie.
Yeah.
You know, the posh lady. Debbie?
Yes, Debbie. It's Debbie.
Debbie was basically, you know, up in her grill, as the hood like to say. What's up my piggers? As the hood would say. She was up in her grill. She was just yapping in her ear. And so basically Mary thinks, oh, you're here to defend her. And Lofty's like, no, I'm not. Oh, Ethel sent you. No, she didn't. Dr. Lake sent you. This window right here, you know who built this window? Me. He basically ignores the fact that Dr. Leg sent him, and basically he just sits down and talks to her. He brings a stool in. Nice poo, by the way, a stool, not poo. Because people sometimes refer to poo as stool as well. He brings a stool in, he sits on it, and he just talks to her. They have a lovely chit chat, lovely back and forth, like basically like this podcast. But they're not. They're what would they be reviewing in the 80s? The A Team.
Social housing.
These houses, seems like they're getting expensive as time goes on. So yeah, they just have a lovely chit chat. The baby, of course, wakes up, and yeah, back to square one. This then leads into Dr. Leg basically getting a bottle of wine. And where did Dr. Leg go, Ash? Where did he go? Would you like to tell the audience where Dr. Leg went?
I don't have the exact specifics, but Dr. Leg essentially went to... He's trying to figure out why the social housing's so bad. And he's trying to figure out why Mary's been left in this fucking position, you know? Like, young mum, young child, left in a practically inhabitable, like, just flat. Like, moving into where someone just died, like, a week ago, you know? Like, why is it that, like, important, you know? And obviously he struggles because, well, ultimately the answer is, fuck off, none of your business. We've done the best we can. And obviously Dr. Leg doesn't want to... He doesn't want to, like, show up. Well, he wants to be able to do something, but he simply just can't. Because there's just not the... there's not the, like, capacity to give the help that Mary would need. There we are.
He basically, I assume, goes to the social housing place, like, to discuss for one of his clients, because Mary is a client. I just realised that's a double meaning, because Mary is a, I don't want to say a prostitute, but she's some kind of sex worker sent by Nick Cotton.
She's not.
Oh, is she not?
No.
I thought she was. I thought that was in the book that she was.
No. Well, it's more so, it's something that happens a little bit later on.
Oh, right.
In her time on the screen.
So yeah, Dr. Leg buys a bottle of wine and basically gets Debbie and the nurse, Andy.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it right. Let's go. Let's go. I'm doing the third angle with the milk bottles. I'm just grabbing them and putting them and pouring them all over my face. Like,
it's not very often that Piggy gets names first time.
Yeah, like, for people, the pulling back the curtain, the only names I can remember from classic Eastenders is Dot, Ethel, Lou Bean, and Dr. Leg, and Lofty and Mary. That's it. And obviously Nick and Angie. They're the only people. Like, anyone past that, I'm like, no, I do not know this. Ash, please help. Please wipe my bottom.
Oh.
So yeah, Debbie and Andy, because they're posh, he basically just says, look, I need your help, because they're gonna cut down the suburban area of Walford, basically. Suburban means the poor area, doesn't it? Like the crap area.
No. Suburban's that kind of like... I see suburban as like a... It's that kind of like family, like, housing, you know, like each house is usually like a family unit. It's in like a bit of like a less crowded area. It's kind of out the way, but not entirely.
Fair enough.
I think the word you're thinking of like a slum.
Yeah, basically what I was trying to say is, the social housing want to get rid of the slum area of Walford. So
yeah,
Dr. Leg
instead of actually solving the issue,
get rid of it.
just get bulldoze it. We can develop it into properties. Sound.
The Margaret Thatcher way. Let's go. Thank you. Oh, there is a shirt I want to buy you for Christmas, by the way. But I know you won't wear it outside. I know you won't wear it outside, but I really want to see you wear it. It's basically a shirt that has a bunch of celebrities in heaven, and then a picture of Margaret Thatcher saying, "We lost a real one." I just want to see you wear that shirt for some reason. But yeah, so he gathers Lofty, Andy, and Debbie, and they just go, yeah. Well, just let the fellow people know, and because Debbie cares more about the community, and Andy's more like, the poor.
Andy just wants to fucking live. And Debbie just keeps getting involved in everybody else's shit. It's like, Debbie, can you just calm down? Can you just please? Can we just have a relationship, please? That's all I want. Can we just be together? Why the fuck are you getting involved in all this extra stuff? That's pretty much Andy and Debbie.
It's basically Piggy and Ash. Piggy, why are you getting involved in this business? Leave me alone, Ash. Fuck right off. You're doing Watching Walford. You're not getting on Easily Entertained. Stop trying to get on it. That's basically our friendship. Go subscribe to Easily Entertained for horror if you want to watch horror films or to watch alongs with them. They're a great channel, by the way. Hopefully, yes. I do a collab with them. Doesn't seem likely. That Ash guy and Easily Entertained seems like a right dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, I'm on about Ash from Watching Walford. He's a lovely person, but the one on Easily Entertained is a massive dick. But yeah, so he rounds up the group and they all go their separate ways. So obviously this will probably lead into next week, where basically some of Walford might get bulldozed. Probably not, because I think it's still here in 2023. Is it?
Alright.
Is the area that gets bulldozed?
It's still houses.
Yeah, so it doesn't get bulldozed.
No. I mean, I was going to see like a bit of like a neighborhood watch type thing kind of forms, and they're like, "This isn't fucking happening."
It reminds me. There's a town in Ireland, right? It's not even a town because there's no shop in it. It's more a house. It's more on the road to a tie. That's basically a place in Kildare for people to give a geography lesson. There used to be it's still here. It's still there, but there's this little place called Camead on the way to a tie. Yeah. And it reminds me of so one day they had a park. And there's obviously houses. It's a house estate with a small park. So obviously there's like slides and everything there. And then they wake up the next morning, all the slides and everything were gone, and nothing was left. It just reminds me of that. I do have a story about my time in Kilmead. This traveller, he went to steal my cousin's bike. And I come out with a sweeping brush on my bare feet and chase them to get the fucking bike back.
Can't imagine you doing that, to be honest.
I did do it. It's just at the time I liked my cousins. Yeah. But yeah, enough about me. Can the real Slim Shadys please stand up? Because we have to move on to our next topic. The real Sharon and Mitchell fighting over Kelvin. So, poor Kelvin, he is stuck in a rot. You can take that metaphorically or literally. He is stuck between two women, and I understand he's probably a minor, but he's on, to quote the In-Betweeners, he's on the pussy patrol. Like, he is. I mean, yeah, Sharon.
He kind of is, but he's also not interested.
He's not interested, but he has somehow got Sharon, who at this point is not a major character. She's more later years Eastenders. She's still popular, but she's not like Sharon Mitchell now, where she's like, Keanu, come here and kiss me. She's just young, dumb Sharon. The world's her oyster, basically. She'll lick a lollipop and stick it on her head and be like, Mom, look at me, I'm a unicorn. Yeah, and we have Michelle in the other hand, who is, she's like her granny Lou Beale. She's like rough and tough. Like, I take no shit from no one. Mark Fowler, you sit down and do your homework. I don't want to. You will fucking do your homework, lad, or I will bake the living crap out of you. All right, sorry. Like, that's how Michelle is.
Yeah, there's a definite contrast between obviously the very working class like Fowlers and Beals. Well, the Beals are kind of a bit more like middle class. The very working class Fowlers versus obviously Den, Angie and Sharon, who, they talk about being in like financial trouble, but they still own a pub. Like, Sharon is spoiled and gets everything she wants. And, well, Michelle has to work for everything she gets. That's a solid descriptor as to the differences between the characters. But they both want very similar things, so that's why they, like, click and why they work.
Yeah. So, how does this all come about? Well, they're sitting down having a cup of tea, or if you're in India, they're having a cup of chai, or cha, however you pronounce it. And they're basically like, Kelvin, you can come and play with my cassette tape. She has a literal cassette tape, by the way. And Michelle's like, yeah, I'll make you dinner, like, Kelvin. Now, I'm not saying who I've already picked in this instant, but a cassette tape or a dinner, and possibly sitting with Lou Beale, mate. You know what I'm going with. What would you go with in that instant? Between a cassette tape or a dinner?
Probably the dinner, I'll be honest. Although, if you listen to the cassette tape, it's not like you have to talk about much. Oh, that was good. Done.
I was born in the wrong generation. What do you mean, Calvin? Well, you see, in the 1950s, you had like Frank Sinatra, just born in the wrong generation. And then, like, Calvin, if you were out in the 1950s, you would not survive in America. But yeah, there probably was people in the 80s saying they were born in the wrong generation. That can't just be a new one. There has to be someone in every generation saying they were born in the wrong generation. I was one of those people. When you're a depressed 14-year-old listening to Kurt Cobain, you'd obviously think that you were born in the wrong generation. But Kurt Cobain doesn't exist yet. Well, he does, but he's not popular. But yeah, we're not here to talk about Nirvana. We're here to talk about Michelle. So basically, he ends up going with Michelle's dinner option, and this is a wholesome scene, and I love it so much. Michelle's, I don't know what she's making. She's making some sort of cheese thing.
She's making cauliflower cheese.
Cauliflower cheese. Is it nice?
It's alright. It's kind of weird. It's one of those things where it tastes good because it's obviously cheese, and cauliflower is quite underrated. But it's a very weird, it just kind of turns to a bit of a mush, and it's good, but I haven't had it in at least 15 years.
I haven't had it at all, so I obviously had to ask you because I didn't know.
Yeah.
So they go to kiss, and then the big bad booty daddy walks in. Lou Beale walks in. She nearly catches them kissing, but Lou Beale is happy that there's going to be some cauliflower cheese on her table. Well, more in her couch. So we cut back to this. And, this is just wholesome. We have Lou Beale. We have Lou Beale on one chair, Kelvin in the middle, and Michelle on the other side of the chair. So Lupiel's in her own chair for people who want to know, and Kelvin's in the middle on a different chair with Michelle beside him on the same chair. And Lupiel is like, "Can you put the news on? I want to see what's going on about the news." And Michelle's like, "No one wants to see that, Granny. No one wants to see that." Like, and Lupiel's just cracking jokes with these two kids, and I'm just sat there buckled because I'm like, that is your granny summed up. That is your granny. So confused and innocent.
Well, she's just there to kind of like prod, just like, So, Kelvin, who do you like more, Michelle or Sharon? You better fucking pick Michelle.
Oh, that cauliflower cheese will be going all over you. We'll obviously talk more about Lupiel later on because she is heavily well, not heavily, but she is featured a lot in our last storyline. So they have their lovely dinner, and then Sharon basically asks her dad, who's not her dad, but she asks her father, and then for some money for a cassette tape. Don't know what the cassette tape is. I don't know what bands were out in 1985. Do not ask me. Probably Pink Floyd or Queen or something like that.
I don't know.
Probably Elton John. No, Elton John would be hated because of the 80s. But something like that. So I don't know the music. They probably couldn't get the rights to music. It was probably just some generic band, if that makes sense. Or some Christian rock. That seems very cheap to buy. So yeah, she basically then goes, "Kelvin, look, I got a cassette. Do you want to come listen? Do you want to come listen to me?" And Kelvin goes, "Yeah, sure, yeah." He's twiddling with his fingers, like he's not really bothered. And then Sharon basically goes, "Yeah, Mark, can Kelvin come up? We come in and we go upstairs and listen to a cassette tape." And obviously Angie's like, "No, why? Why would I do that?" She's not, "No, I'm not letting you be on your own with Kelvin." And basically Kelvin then tells Sharon, "Look, I'm going to be in the laundrette. I'm washing my dad's jocks, like he fucking stank them out." And then Sharon is like, "Ma, I'll go to the laundrette for you." And I think Dan and Angie know something's up, but don't say anything. So they go into the laundrette, and he puts his headphones on. There's two pairs of headphones. She has one, he has one. They're very 80s looking headphones, I'll tell you that much. It reminds me of the McDonald's headphones or was it Burger King that came out in like the 80s as well. You had in a Happy Meal. It was something like that. It reminds me of that.
It's the really thin, like really small, like earbuds.
Yes. Man, how headphones have changed and haven't changed over the years. But yeah, he puts the two headphones in. They listen to the cassette tape. They start doing Kelvin starts doing a little dance. Your mother, your father on the dance floor, like 5 points deep, like wedding dance. Bobbing side to side, doing the cha-cha slide. The dance is there.
I don't know.
I was trying to think of the Macarena, but I couldn't think of the Macarena. It's so hard trying to think of the dance I was going to say, but I couldn't. But yeah, they're doing the cha-cha slide, and then they both roll over on the ground. Michelle walks in, and nothing's really said about it.
I got the main thing to fucking say about this. Mate, Sharon's such a little fucking tart.
Go on.
She's just genuinely just throwing herself at him. Like, bloody giggling the whole time. Starts fucking, like, just takes him out. Fully just fucking dives on him. Like, stop fucking throwing yourself at him.
He's not interested.
He isn't. Fuming.
Is he gay?
No.
Okay.
He's just got other problems, you know.
Yeah.
He's worried about his parents. He's worried about school. He's got more important shit to deal with, which is kind of funny and kind of interesting. But yeah, fucking goddamn it, Sharon, stop fucking. I know that it doesn't like happen anymore because obviously Sharon gets pursued, you know, like now, like she's Queen Sharon. But you know, back in the day, just fucking throwing herself at Kelvin. Doesn't help how I just absolutely adore Michelle Fowler and think she's getting shafted. But, you know, this kind of all culminates and she gets annoyed, and then Sharon and Michelle they find themselves like, you know what? Fuck Kelvin. He's shit anyways. Yeah.
I agree that Sharon is just, you know, she it's so weird seeing 1985 Sharon and 2023 Sharon. 38 years apart.
Yep.
It's so weird.
Well, it's like, because her little fucking giggle was doing me in. It's that spoiled like rich kid that you're like, fuck off, man. I've been down here in the fucking mines, trying to do my best to get by, and you're just gonna fucking waltz in with your fucking fancy cassette and your fucking £3 fucking perfume, trying to stink up my fucking laundrette, trying to get on my man. Fuck off, Sharon. None of your business. Just stop trying to get your fucking grubby little mitts on it. Just because you get everything you want, it's my. Obviously, he's not an object, but he's mine. Fucking Sharon. Stop giggling. It's not cute. What are you even laughing at?
Me.
No, fucking Sharon. What's she laughing at? She's just dancing. Fuck off, man. What's wrong with you? Sharon, you fucking ball bag. Get your hands off Kelvin.
Kelvin is mine, bitch. Get your hands off Kelvin. Kelvin is mine, no one else's. He's only mine. He's with the best fucking person I know, and the best fucking person I know is me. Only me. But yeah, they're rolling around like dogs in heat. But I don't know what they were doing. Obviously Michelle thinks, oh, they're gonna shag. They're gonna pop the pop, have the cha-cha smooth. And then basically our last storyline with Kelvin is Michelle and Sharon are having ice cream. Looks to be vanilla. Probably is vanilla. They're having ice cream, and Ian and Kelvin. Well, Ian's going into Kelvin's house, and they both say, "Oh, you're not interested in women anymore, Kelvin," and just the poor Kelvin, like accusing him for. Why would you be interested in?
How dare you not be interested in trivial things like women when you've got some serious fucking parental issues going on? How dare you not be interested in me? Fucking piece of shit, Kelvin. Think about the real life things like our growing relationship. Yeah. And ultimately, Ian and Kelvin, they're just talking like, well, yeah, I mean, you know, my parents are separated. I don't know if I'm living here. I don't know if I'm living at home. I'm just kind of shared in between. It's like not good. I want to quit school, but I don't really want to quit school. I just want to get a rise out of Tony. But it's just, and obviously Ian, which we'll get into shortly, is obviously having a lot of trouble with Pete and Kathy, as they've shown a bit of resistance to some of Ian's choices. And that's the big source of conflict.
Exactly. It's Ian's 15 in this, isn't he, at the start?
Something like that. I don't know the exact age, but
Because I think they mentioned he's 15. But we will get into Ian Beale now. We will be Big Cook and Little Cook. And we will get into this. We will whisk you into it. So Ian, what is wrong with Ian Beale? Well, he's got nothing left. He's got... whenever I can bring that up, I will be happy. He is sad because his dad doesn't want him to be a cook, or a chef. His dad wants him to be a manly man. I would say go work in the mines, but obviously shut down.
Too soon.
He wants too soon. Yeah, too soon.
Been 38 years, still furious.
Yeah. Still furious. So he just wants him to sell fruit and veg, I'd assume, or get a manly job like a boxer,
armed forces, or like a red coat or something.
Bartender. Oh, side note, I forgot to mention this. Something I wanted to bring up about Dan and Angie is they're on about getting strippers for the bar. I absolutely love this because Angie's like, yeah, I'll set you up with this person so you can have a look at the strippers. And then she sends Dan to a hen party and he sees a little stripper.
Yeah, just, you want strippers, do you, Dan? Well, here's a male stripper. And he's like, oh, what the hell, Ange? I wish, 80s, different time, but I wish we did see Den go to that stripper party. I would have loved to seen that. Just Den in there, you know. I think the women like, you know, dancing and then like, okay, where's the stripper? And now introducing Bang Bang Bars. And then this like old fella like comes out with a G-string on, you know, has guns, belly over the G-string, like, hello ladies, you've been expecting me. That's what I would have loved to see, but obviously no. Hopefully next year when he brings the strippers in, we get to see it. But back to Ian, unless you have anything to say on that. No, just funny little comedy scenes. Gotta love it.
Back to Ian. So Ian is again stuck in a rut. His father wants him to be a manly man, and Kathy more agrees with Ian where, yeah, choose your own path, kid. And then kind of sides with no, I was gonna say Peter. Pete. I was close. She sides with Pete obviously because like you want what's best for your son, and I'd assume being a male chef in 1985, you know, you're not going to get slurs shouted at you, but you're going to get slurs shouted at you. So yeah, they have an argument. They make up, Kathy and Pete do, until I think Pete goes to shag Kathy. Got a shagging going on, and then Ian just awkwardly walks in. Do you know where the keys are, guys? know where the keys are, please? So he gets the keys. He opens up to Lou Beale in what I think is an amazing scene, and just proves how. What's the actor's name again?
Ian.
Ian's. Alan Wodiak.
Adam
Wodiak.
Yeah.
Adam Wodiak, even when he's young, he showed emotion. Like, this is just the start of the Brian Beale meme. Like,
honestly, I want to immediately steal this just to fully. First,
you go ahead.
Ian, first, Lou Beale is a fucking icon and so unbelievably good. Because, you know, Lou Beale, she just shouts at everyone. She's so miserable. She's just a miserable old cow. Ian actually comes to her upset and she's just like, look, alright, you do what you want to do. and I will spoil the entire way. And honestly, if it continues, you just come straight to me, because I'll fucking sort them out. I'll fucking sort them all out. I'll sort every single person who's ever fucking annoyed you out, because you are my grandson, and I love you. Like, this really big emotional scene, the first ever Julius theme, as Ian's struggling, because, well, fucking every single second, Pete goes, "Ah, oh, yeah, you gotta be a chef. Ah, what are you doing, pussy?" And then Kathy's like, "Oh, Ian, you keep interrupting me trying to shag." And it's just a constant back and forth where Ian just wants some fucking peace of mind, but he's getting yanked every single which way. But the only way he can think about even getting through it is just going to his nan. And honestly, just go ahead and watch the first ever Julius theme. Go ahead and watch Ian, like, breaking down to Lou. And honestly, the first ever Julius theme couldn't have been given to a better person.
No, it couldn't be given to any other person. I think they really nailed it. Yeah, this is just an amazing scene. It just shows Adam Woody acting. He's crying angry. He's so sad. And Luke Beale is like your granny. She just comforts him. I will burn this world down for you, Ian. I will make sure you get what you want. And it's just so wholesome.
Like, it's so easy to be like, it's so easy to just kind of like snipe at people and be like, "Ah, well, you're fucking shit, aren't you?" But to actually like convey like a warmth and a genuine love there, like that's talent, you know. Like, that's genuine like acting talent of just to act like, I believe that Lou Beale's fucking Ian's gran. Like, yeah. I'd believe that even in real life they had like a really good like relationship. Like, that's how like convinced that's how convinced I am at, like, how well this was done.
So yeah, first ever Julius theme. What did you think? Did you think it was good? You think it was bad?
It was the perfect way to do it. It's a very humble beginning, as they clearly, you know, like, they've had 38 years to figure out what they're actually doing. So they're obviously a bit more picky with Julius themes. A lot of the Julius themes are very built up. This was honestly just a little bit built up over like the last, like, it was only over like a couple of episodes really. And it's kind of the difference between like modern Eastenders and classic Eastenders. There's a lot of these storylines, like, a lot of them, I guess you could say, are stuck in first gear in comparison to now, where you obviously have an explosive start, a very strong build in the middle, a fucking fierce finish. But like, this one was just very, Ian's having trouble. He goes to his gran. She says it's time to sort it out. Like,
yeah. And sort it out she does. As we see in the next episode, she in the final episode, she goes in there like a lightning bolt, and she lays the smack it down on Kathy and Pete Beale. She basically says, "Oh, stop picking on him. Leave him alone, lads. Leave him alone." And they're just shook. They're like stood there like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? He's Ian Beale. He's Ian Beale. What do you want me to do with that?" And so she gets her ass handed to her by Kathy and Pete Beale. Sadly, Kathy just gives out to her.
yeah.
I didn't know that Pete had kids before Kathy.
Yeah, obviously, well, I'm not going to spoil it. But yes, he had kids with a very famous EastEnders character who is set to debut like in a year's time.
Pat Butcher.
wait and see, mate. Wait and see.
Oh, you can tell me off camera. Oh,
Yes. Yes. You are correct. It was Pat Butcher.
oh, was I?
Yeah, no, genuinely correct.
Oh, I thought you were being sarcastic.
No. Like, great guess. It's
Thank you. So yeah, possibly has kids with Pat Butcher. Could be telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies. So yeah. So do you want to get on to the awards? Your final thoughts?
Yep. Let's go ahead and do that.
So what is your final thoughts? Oh no, we'll do the final thoughts afterwards. Let's slow our roll and let's do the awards.
I believe the awards on this part of the show, I think, isn't it just underrated and who needs slapping down?
It is. So who is the most underrated character of this week?
Ooh. That's got a lofty, doesn't it?
Good answer.
Like he's so lovable. He's not charming, but he is a bit like got some of that like kind of like nerd charm. He's not very sure what's going on. He's cool. It's love lofty. There we are.
My character is going to Ian Beale.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because Ian is underrated. His scene really shows that they do have a brilliant character to carry to the future.
Yes.
He does leave, I think, so in some years and comes back, pops in and out. I think I might be wrong. I might be just confusing him for his 2020 exit. Like, but he is here to stay. Ian. He's here for the majority of the 80s, 90s, and early 90s. So yeah, Ian, you are the most underrated character. And finally, who needs slapping down?
I guess Kelvin. But I don't really want to give it to Kelvin. No. Sharon. Sharon
Yes.
needs slapping down. You stop fucking flirting with him. Michelle's been very clear that that's who she's interested in. So you can't fucking swan over here with your fucking fancy cassette player and your little fucking weird little pink fluffy fucking jumper. Start giggling at him and like roughhouse around the place. He could have cracked his head on the floor. He could have died. Poor Kelvin. But the real fun is the fact that, well, Kelvin's not interested in Sharon, is he? So, joke's on you, motherfucker. Fuck you, Sharon. Little spoilt brat. Who needs slapping down, Piggy? Do you agree?
Sharon.
Yeah.
I agree. So let's get into our final thoughts. I will go first, but Ash can then jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out, get up, get down, get groovy, shake it all around. My final thoughts are: it's been a fun week, another fun 2 weeks of Eastenders. Enjoying it more than modern Eastenders, actually. That may be because modern Eastenders seems so different to classic Eastenders.
It seems so much more dialed up.
Yes.
Like, everything is much more like... If current EastEnders is overcooked, classic EastEnders is like... It's rare. It's not well done. It's not medium rare. It's just rare. Like, there's still a lot of room to grow, but the like nice little kind of authentic feel, like all these characters feel realistic. They all interact with one another. Like, it feels genuine. And it feels like an actual community, rather than current EastEnders, where some characters go, like, years without ever talking.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. It feels a lot better. It's like when, I know you're not a big Simpsons fan, although you stream Shar, which is Simpsons Hit and Run for people who are not in the Shar community. I know you don't really watch Simpsons, but it's like watching The Simpsons again, because you have season 1 to 10, which is pretty good. Season 10 to like, or 11 to like 20 are a bit weird. Like the in-between seasons are, you know, there's a change, and then you go from you go to like season 20 to like 29, and it's like it's a different direction. And then like the 30 seasons have been, what I've heard, it's been very good. Like, it's been a nice change.
Well,
Of course, they're in a floating timeline, which is different. But what were you gonna say?
it's kind of it's like a lot of the actors obviously left EastEnders in like the formative years. Like, a bunch of the classic characters are gone by 89, and then in the 90s they kind of changed the image a bit more. They introduced the Mitchells, gave a bit more crime centered. So, like, there's a lot of early EastEnders is purely about family and like family conflict. It's a lot more slice of life kind of like TV. And obviously, like, I don't think it would, let's say EastEnders was created now, I don't think it would be given the same amount of room that it obviously had, because it was brand new and it was like really cool. And I feel like a lot of people would get quite bored of like classic EastEnders if they exclusively watch like modern soaps, all these big massive stunts and like huge storylines. Like, every couple of days, like, people can just watch like or read some spoilers and get excited about the future. It's a lot more grounded. It's a lot like I would say grittier, but there's allowed to be a lot more nuance with this. Like, characters aren't just, oh hey, that's Kim, she says the funny things. Oh, that's Karen, she is poor and she also says my boy. Like, Ethel still is comic relief, but still gets the time to fucking kidnap a child and actually have some depth in her character. It's just
I agree.
It definitely feels like all of these characters were made with love and are all given enough room and time to actually develop.
Yeah. Fair point. What is your thoughts?
Not much else for that. It was a good week of EastEnders. I do like there being less like kind of. I like how it does seem like it is only like 3 storylines a week, kind of. Obviously, he's got a bit more time constraints, so. Or every 2 weeks even. Like, I know we're like far away from like 93 where they increased it 4. But I'm going to be so sad when we get to that point and it's like, oh shit in hell. It's just, it's light enough, and it's kind of like, it's a lot more easier to sit through.
Yeah.
And it's nice, and it's just lovely to be able to kind of get a weird like image built up of the 80s, because obviously we weren't fucking there, so
No, our parents probably weren't, but we weren't.
It's funny to see the difference in like time and
But actually, I should clarify, my mother wasn't here in 1985. She wouldn't be born till September, so yay.
But yeah, that's my thoughts, Biggie. What do you reckon?
I reckon we send these lovely viewers on our way. I've been Piggy from Watching Walford. I've been joined by Ash.
Hello.
Anything you want to plug?
Nah, not really. Just follow all the social medias: Twitter or X at Watching Walford, Twitch at Watching Walford, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell us your thoughts, and yeah, that's it from me.
So yeah, again, whatever he said, same for me, and follow us on Instagram at Watching Walford, and we will see you next week.